So let me do one thing. I'm gonna go to my content drawer, just dock to the layout. And what we're gonna be doing is creating the first enemies. So I need to make so the creature, the enemy, is a child of the Overman blueprint class. And then I'm gonna make a child of the child for each one of the enemies. That's gonna be the slime and the skeleton. So let's do that for a second. So right click to our BP master, create child blueprint class. I'm gonna say BP. I'm gonna say BPC so I know that's a child. Monster. Master monster. Okay. If I double click, I'm just gonna make sure that everything looks correct, which it does. Save it. I'm gonna create another blueprint from the monster. And I'm gonna just call this thing here skeleton. I can just move that to the skeleton folder. Create another one from the monster, another child. And I'm gonna call this slime. And we can also move this to slime folder. So let's click into skeleton, PVC skeleton. And the only thing that we need to do here for now, just make sure that we have, this is just a placeholder by the way, but just make sure that we have something here. Put skeleton, compile, save, that's good enough. We can close that gate. With that done, I'm actually gonna leave this open to be honest with you, because we're gonna have to touch on it again. But I'm gonna also go to my player hero in my animation blueprint. I'm gonna leave this open because I'm gonna have to copy this. And what we need to do right now is set up one for the enemy. So I'm just gonna go here, right click, paper CD, animation, blueprint, select the skeleton, and ABP, skeleton. Double click on it. And because we did this already in the other one, I'm just gonna copy whatever we have here. Yeah, make sure that we're gonna go to the animation graph, post there, pull set direction. I'm just gonna make this window a little bit bigger so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's split this and oops, X here, Y here. We need to make sure the get only actor is there, which it is. I'm gonna pull from here, play, walk. I think this should be correct. I'm gonna test it in a second, but I'm just organize this graph. I do like to keep everything aligned as possible. Alright, so let's just save, compile and save. Make sure that we go to our PPC skeleton. And in my animation component, ABP skeleton, compile and save. I'm gonna quickly drag that into our world. Press play, see what happens there. And it seems like it's working. It's facing the correct direction, which is the sphere. We're gonna remove the sphere after, but it's just there for troubleshooting for us. And there's no like logic right now. There's no AI driving this. So because of that, it's gonna be hard to really test it. But I'm gonna go on the limb and say that this is working. So I'm gonna go to my PPC slime, open that one here too. And we're gonna change that to this animation, compile and save. And essentially we're gonna do the same thing that we did. So if you want it, you can literally just copy all of this. And when we go to our slime here, just go to paper ZD, paper ZD anim, AG smile. So no smile, sorry, it's slime. So this is a ABP slime. Double click. We just need to go to the animation graph and quite honestly just do this. Make sure to just pull from here the play, and I think the slime only has one animation anyway, so it's going to be play, walk. Go back to the slime, make sure that the animation component has that assigned. So if I go here, say slime, it's right there as a third one. And why don't we drag one of these to the scene? And if I did it correctly, you're gonna be seeing this line facing that direction. Seems like it's working. So in order to really test it, the next thing we're gonna do is just create a basic AI. So I'm gonna repeat something that I've been repeating all along. There's many ways to achieve the same result inside Unreal. So for the AI, we're gonna just do something really quick, just to test it out. So I'm gonna go to my blueprint, and I'm gonna create a new folder called AI. Right click, blueprint class. There's no AI here, so I'm just gonna look for AI down here. And the one that I need is this one here, AI controller. So just select it, and we're just gonna call AI monsters, and double click on that. This tiny screen is getting a little bit hard, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move all the way to the top. And essentially, it's gonna make it a little bit easier to read what we're doing and to organize this. And every time I need to go back, I can just go to the level and test it out. So here in our AI, actually, let me close some of this stuff. I don't need this right now. I'm just gonna leave the AI, and I'm gonna go to the blueprint again, inside characters, and open the master monster. Okay, I need to tell this blueprint to use this AI that I'm gonna be designing with you. So how can we do that? I'm gonna go to my viewport. Not that it make any difference, but if I go here to the top level and I scroll down, again, it's so long, so just type AI. And what we're looking for is auto possess AI in the controller class. The controller class is the one that we just created, is the AI monster. And the auto possess AI is the stuff that is dropped into the world or the stuff that is spawned. We're not doing any spawn control, but if you want it, you can be placed in the world or spawn. So that means if you do a spawn system, or if you manually put the mobs into the world, the enemies into the world, this AI is going to take over essentially. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to navigate to our AI, to our event graph. So we have a few events here that are available for us. The tick is what happens every frame. Begin play is what happens in the beginning of the match. So when this starts, we need to get the position of the player, and at every frame, we need to get the predator position of the player, so the monsters can follow the player and attack the player. So let's do that. We used this one before, and that's essentially getting the player position, get the player pawn. And what I can do is in the return value, I can just promote to a variable. I'm going to rename that player. Just like that. Zoom in a little bit too much. This is what we do. So in the begin play, when we press play in the game, I want to set the player, essentially gagging the location of the player. And then on every tick, I want to update that location so I can use this after for the monsters to follow. So now that we have this thing here, we can either click drag and say get, or you can just say get player. There's two ways for you to do it. So I'm going to get the player location, which essentially means I need to ask for location, actor location, get the actor location. You want to make sure that the enemies are looking the correct direction. So I'm going to say find look and rotation. So the target of that enemy is the player. So that goes here. And then the initial position is the actual pawn, the actual monster pawn. So we need to make a way to expose that into a variable. That one is very straightforward because we've been doing this often. So we can say on possess as an event, which is essentially meaning when the blueprint, the monster blueprint is possessed, give me this thing here, promote to a variable, boom, give me the possessed pawn. That way I can just click and drag and push this thing here, get possessed pawn. And honestly, this is getting a little bit tight in space, so I'm gonna move this down a little bit. I'm gonna move this thing here. And then it's the same logic, get the actor location, target, possess pawn to the start. Just like that, have the beginnings of that logic. We also should add a directional. So let's say get forward vector, and that way this is pointing in the direction that the character is going to be walking. So now what I need to do is make sure that this will make my monsters move, oops, not that, move in the direction of the player. So I'm going to go back to my, I'm going to Ctrl Shift S to save everything. I'm going to go back to my BPC master monster into my event graph. The reason why we're going to create an event here is because if we create to the master, every single creature that we create after is going to have that already attached to the functionality. So that's why we're creating childs of this blueprint. So let's just go there. I'm going to right click, custom event. I'm going to say follow player. And this one's going to be very straightforward. I can just go here and say add movement. And that's the input, but I'm not controlling this. So I should just go and say, give me the position, the direction. And of course, the AI is going to read this and it's going to update that. That done, we can just Ctrl Shift S, go back to our AI monster. And on my possess, when the AI is possessed, I'm essentially going to just reference that with a casting function. So just pull from here, cast. Actually, let me disconnect first. Cast BPC master monster. Connect there, connect this thing here, connect this one here. And just make sure to go here to my possess pawn and let's just change this to BPC master monster object reference. It's going to tell you that it needs to some connections need to be rearranged and recompile. So just say change variable, just wait a little bit. And that should be all we need. Is it going? Is it going? Close it. Let's save this because I don't want it to crash. Okay, so let's just go back here because I forgot the name. The name is follow player. So I can just go here and say follow player. And it already gives me the possess pawn, which is exactly what I need. So I can just go here and connect to, actually I need to move this to the tick. There you go. And the reason why I'm connected to the tick is because it's going to be updating every tick, essentially every second. And with that done, I can also connect this thing here. And I'm actually going to rearrange this because now it's in the way. So those famous words, if I did everything right, it should be working now. So I'm going to Ctrl Shift S, compile and save again. Okay, let's test it out. Let's go back to our arena where both enemies are there. And if I press play, oh my god, they just move super fast. We'll play from here. And they are following me. So I think the slime should be slow, and I also think the skeleton should be slow too. The slime is slower than skeleton. Let's do that small change. And this, actually, by the way, this shows what I was trying to explain to you before. That if we do the change on the master monster, is every child, every monster, every creature we create after, it just inherits those behaviors, which is a very powerful way to design creatures. For now, they are not doing any damage. We're gonna fix that in the next class, but let's just change the speed. It's crazy. So the speed is going to have to be in the individual ones. So just go BPC skeleton and characters, slime, BPC slime. Open the full blueprint editor. This one's pretty straightforward. If you go here to the top, there is a control for speed. And this menu is just so long that I'm going to give up and just say walk. And we're looking for the speed here, max walk speed. I'm going to divide this by 3. And also divide this, we're not doing crouchy, but whatever, just to stay consistent. Compile, save. I'm going to go to the skeleton, see the same thing, walk. And that's inside character movement walking. Divided by 2 maybe? Actually, let's make the smile, the smile. So I keep saying smile instead of slime. Let's make the slime even slower. Maybe that's too much, but let's see how that looks like. Because I like the idea of having a log of slimes walking together to a direction. And I'm just scrolling down to see exactly what that is. I don't know. When I see a lot of information like this, my head just starts spiraling out of control. So I usually like to search it to filter. Yeah, character movement is all the way down. Oh, in the center even. So yeah, that's why I use the search. Play. Yeah, that feels good. I used to play a MMORPG many years ago called Ragnarok Online, and they had a bunch of slimes like these they called Porinks, and that's exactly how they moved. They were super slow, while the other creatures were a little bit faster. So actually, I like this a lot. I'm happy. So let's continue to the next class.